Good morning, Director Menegar. Would you mind testing your audio for us, please?
Good morning, Kaylee. How are you?
I'm good, thank you very much.
Okay, I guess we're set, right?
Yes.
Very good. We'll see you shortly.
We are live.
All right, welcome to the Joint Board of Directors meeting for July 14th, 2022, which should prove to be a fairly short meeting. We'll start with the call to order, which we've already done, and then the invocation led by Director Minigar, and please stay standing for the Pledge of Allegiance by Director Kelly.
Thank you. Dear wise and loving Father, first let me say thank you on behalf of all who are gathered here this morning. Thank you for your many and abundant blessings in Orange County. Thank you for the beautiful life itself. For the measure of health, we need to fulfill our callings for sustenance and for friendship. Thank you for the ability to be involved in useful work and for the honor of bearing appropriate responsibilities. Thanks as well for the freedom to embrace you or the freedom to reject you. Thank you for loving us, even so, from your boundless and gracious nature. We pray for our elected officials from 19 cities and the County of Orange, for the various levels of the transportation corridor agencies, and in particular for these two assembled boards. I'm asking that you would graciously grant us wisdom to govern amid the potential conflicting interests and the issues of our mobility, a sense of the welfare and true needs of our residents and commuters, a keen thirst for justice and righteousness, confidence in what is good and fitting, the ability for all these two boards members to work together in harmony, even when there may be honest disagreement, personal peace in our lives and joy in our governing tasks. I pray for the agenda set before us this morning. Please give an assurance of what would please you and what would benefit those who live, work, and commute in and around our beloved Orange County. It is in your most blessed name we pray. Amen.
Please join me as we pledge our allegiance to our wonderful, great flag. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Chair Will O'Neill,
Here.
Vice Chair Heft,
Here.
Director Connors, Director Hurt,
Here.
Director Minigar,
Present.
Director Reynolds, Director Vic Sorick,
Here.
Chair Wong,
Here.
Vice Chair Miller,
Here.
Director Veal,
Here.
Director Chafee,
Present.
Director Lombard,
Here.
Director Murphy,
Here.
Director Trevor O'Neill,
Here.
Director Voights,
Here.
Director Bartlett,
Here.
Director Kelly,
Here.
Director Khan,
Here.
Director Penaloza,
Present.
Director Taylor,
Here.
Director Wagner,
Here.
Director Chamberlain,
Here.
Director Connors, Director Reynolds. Mr. Chair, noting the absence of Director Connors and Director Reynolds, we do have quorum on both boards.
Thank you very much. All right, now we'll move into public comments. Madam Clerk, do we have any public comments?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. At this time during live public broadcasting, members of the public may address the joint boards of directors regarding any items within the subject matter jurisdiction of the joint boards of directors, but no action may be taken on off-agenda items unless authorized by law. Written public comments received in advance of the meeting will be distributed to the directors. Live public comments shall be limited to 3 minutes per person unless the chair is subject to the approval of the boards of directors set different time limits. Mr. Chair, we have received no written public comments or live public commenters at this time.
All right, thank you. Directors, if you are participating via Zoom, which most of you are, just a quick reminder, you are able to raise your Zoom hand if you have any questions or comments for today. Anyone participating via teleconference can press star 9 to raise your hand. If you have any technical difficulties, please text the clerk and I'll know. All right, we're going to move into the San Joaquin Hills consent calendar, items 1 through 4. Do we have any live public commenters specific to those items?
There are no live public commenters.
All right, thank you. Directors, do you have any items to pull or discuss on the consent calendar for San Joaquin Hills first? Okay, seeing none, do I have a motion?
I make a motion to move as presented.
Trish Kelly seconds.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Chair Will O'Neill,
Aye.
Vice Chair Heft,
Aye.
Director Bartlett,
Yes.
Director Connors, Director Hurt,
Yes.
Director Kelly,
Yes.
Director Khan,
Yes.
Director Minigar,
Aye.
Director Penaloza,
Yes.
Director Reynolds, Director Taylor,
Aye.
Director Vic Sorick,
Aye.
Director Wagner,
Aye.
Director Connors.
Aye, here.
Mr. Chair, the item passes unanimously.
Thank you. We'll move into the Foothill Eastern consent calendar, items 1 through 3, and item number 5. Do we have any live public commenters specific to those items?
There are no live public commenters.
Thank you. Directors for Foothill Eastern, do we have any items to discuss or pull?
I'll move consent calendar, please. Scott.
Second.
Seconded by Director O'Neill. All right, Madam Clerk, let's go ahead with the roll call vote, please.
Chair Wong,
Yes.
Vice Chair Miller,
Aye.
Director Bartlett,
Yes.
Director Beal,
Here. Aye.
Director Chafee,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Yes.
Director Khan,
Yes.
Director Lombard,
Aye.
Director Murphy,
Aye.
Director Trevor O'Neill,
Aye.
Director Penaloza,
Yes.
Director Taylor,
Aye.
Director Voights,
Yes.
Director Wagner.
Aye.
Mr. Chair, the item passes unanimously.
All right. We'll go into board business, item number 6. It's an informational presentation from staff that will not actually require any action, but questions and feedback would be appreciated. As a reminder, if you would like to make comments, just go ahead and do the raised hand feature. Do we have any live commenters, public commenters on this item?
There are no live public commenters.
All right, Mr. Valdez, it's all yours.
Thank you. Good morning, honorable directors. Vinny Valdez, Chief Toll Operations Officer, and I'll be providing a brief update on a recent peer exchange. On June 22nd, staff hosted a peer exchange with a representative from ASFINAG, which is the Austrian government-owned company responsible for all tolling facilities in that country. For those that are curious, ASFINAG is an acronym which translated to English means Autobahn and Highway Financing Stock Corporation. The goal of the visit was to exchange experiences, lessons learned, best practices, and to discuss trends impacting the tolling industry. Mr. Thomas Greiner, their Director of Innovation and Strategy, provided us a presentation on their mission and current initiatives. Next slide, please. ASFINAG plans, finances, builds, maintains, operates, and tolls the motorways and expressways in Austria. Here we have some statistics that give us a sense of how they compare. 16.3 billion miles of total traffic per year, compared to roughly 28.9 billion per year for Orange County. 1,400 centerline miles, compared to 51 for TCA and roughly 265 for all of California. Geographically, 32,386 square miles compared to 56,505 square miles for all of Southern California. They have a population of 9 million compared to 9.9 million for LA County and 3.2 million for Orange County. Next slide, please. Mr. Greiner discussed how ASFINAG is forward-looking. They view themselves as a mobility partner for motorists. Its vision statement, as we see on the slide, is, quote, "As a reliable, innovative, and sustainable mobility partner, we connect regions and people in the heart of Europe." Next slide, please. During his visit, we presented Mr. Greiner with information on the history of TCA, its organization, current initiatives, commitment to the environment, and we took him through the 7 focus areas of the strategic plan. We also took him on a tour of the Windy Ridge facility and the 24191 interchange to highlight our technology, environmental projects, channelizer installation, and the upcoming 24191 Express Connector. Next slide, please. In speaking to us about ASFINAG, Mr. Greiner put particular emphasis on their innovation focus and described several current initiatives, including connected vehicle technology. One of our initiatives in the agency's strategic plan is to do some testing of connected vehicle technology to see if we can leverage it to improve efficiencies and/or reduce cost. Well, they are piloting with Volkswagen, installing infrastructure on the roadways to communicate with connected vehicles for providing estimated travel times. Next slide, please. While the agency's strategic plan includes commitment to the environment, Mr. Greiner talked about how they do dynamic speed reductions, which are communicated to drivers via dynamic message signage during periods of poor air quality, high noise level, and high winds. Interestingly, electric vehicles are exempt from the speed reductions attributable to poor air quality and high noise level. The rationale is that electric vehicles do not contribute to either problem, and in fact, the policy goal is to incentivize their use. Next slide, please. They are also piloting the use of piezo technology to implement noise walls along stretches of roadway that absorb noise and vibrations from the roadway and convert it to electricity. On the topic of noise management, he also described how they deploy noise sensors along stretches of roadway to help them detect incidents such as collisions that require a response. Next slide, please. They are also currently piloting placement of solar panels over the roadway as opposed to alongside it to generate electricity. So our sense was that they had, in fact, a strong commitment to the environment like us, and it was interesting to see how they seek out, pilot, and deploy technologies to enhance the environment. Next slide, please. And lastly, from a customer service perspective, it was really interesting to hear how ASFINAG is working on developing an interface with Alexa so that a roadway user passing a toll point can utilize Alexa in the vehicle to pay the toll. It was clear that they envision a world where people bring their digital assistants like Alexa, Google, etc., which today are mostly in people's residences, and take them on the move with them. So their idea is to make it possible to pay a toll through Alexa. Reflecting on this afterwards, we began to think more broadly about how we might also deliver other types of customer service through digital assistants. For example, ordering a transponder. So all in all, great ideas that we will be thinking more about and may have some specific ideas to talk about in the next strategic planning workshop. So teaser there. Next slide, please. So wrapping up, Mr. Greiner was highly complimentary of the agency's strategic planning and commitments to sustainability in the environment. We agreed with him that the visit and information exchange was mutually beneficial and that the dialogue would remain open. He encouraged staff to visit ASFINAG's facilities and technology in Austria should the opportunity present itself. Looking back on the exchange, it was encouraging to see the similarities in approach between the two entities. For instance, both had clearly defined mission and vision statements. Both had strong commitments to sustainability in the environment, and both are committed to deployment of technology to increase customer convenience and reduce operational cost. It was also great to see how well their innovation agenda mapped to the activities in TCA's strategic plan. Overall, a great exchange. This is information only, no action required. This concludes my update. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
All right. We'll go with Director Connors and then Director Minigar.
Thank you. You mentioned piezo noise reduction technology. Can you explain what that is?
Sure. Their concept was to use that technology, which absorbs noise and vibration, that piezo technology, and use it to implement what they called noise walls along stretches of their tollways there. So, think you can envision like guardrails that are actually walls alongside the roadway with this technology installed, absorbing noise, absorbing vibration, and somehow converting that to electricity.
Before we get to the converting, how does, is it technology or is it structure? Piezo is just something I'm unfamiliar with.
Right. Piezo technology today is installed in roadways. I don't know a lot about it. I'll ask our engineering folks maybe for some help elaborating. But as I understand it, it's technology today that's used in roadways as sensors. Vehicles drive over it. So using that technology installed into, you can think of barricades maybe, installed alongside the roadway to absorb the noise and vibration and, as I say, convert it to electricity.
Thank you.
Sure.
All right, Director Minigar and then Director Voits.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Valdez, thank you very much for your excellent presentation. Very informative. I have just two questions within the context of jurisdictional responsibilities in the country of Austria. Of course, this was pretty learning for me to see how they're doing things there, which is very promising and it sounds great. But do they have Environmental Protection Agency there? Do they have California Air Resources Board there? Do they have South Coast Air Quality Management District type of organizations there? And on the top of that, I noticed that you had mentioned it's a government-owned company, that they do everything from A to Z, unlike TCA, which is the structures, is that the state of California does the maintenance of the toll roads. So with that, any approval of TCA would be contingent upon the state of California, i.e. Caltrans, to agree with that. Thank you.
Sure. So taking the second point first, yes, it was interesting to see how they have a broader mission, let's say, than we do here. In Austria, they have total responsibility for the roads. The only thing they don't have responsibility for on the roads is law enforcement. But they have responsibility for, financing the roads, building them, operating, maintaining, everything else besides traditional law enforcement. Speaking to the first part of the question, yes, ASFINAG as a government-owned entity reports into one of the ministries of the, and I'm forgetting which one, but one of the ministries of the Austrian government. And with that, they work with the various ministries towards these policy goals. And yes, there is an environmental entity within the Austrian government that Mr. Greiner described working with.
Director Menegard, this is Samuel Johnson. Yeah, so we don't have all the specifics on how their government organizations, groups are structured, but I think the high-level response to your question is they are actually stricter than California in some of their environmental policies and rules. Through our international trade organization, IBTTA, I get to talk with a lot of folks around the world, and Austria is the only country, and ASFINAG, the only entity that I've ever talked to that says they have plenty of money because they developed their sustainable funding model through tolling, but they don't get to spend it because their environmental rules are so strict. So they are cash flush, and they can do a lot of things, but their focus on the environment does result in a significant reserve.
Mr. Johnson, I would truly appreciate it in our upcoming strategic planning meeting that is going to be held in the city of Newport Beach, that we have, robust discussions or maybe more comprehensive presentation on this subject matter that I found it technically to be extremely promising, and I think it's very good for Orange County. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Voits?
Yeah, I just want to thank Vinny for a great report. I think our staff was wise in looking around the world as TCA is becoming a leader in transportation here in California and throughout the nation for some our integration and environmental stewardships with the open grazing, the public use of mitigation land, the wildlife fencing along the 241. I just want to say thank you for hosting them, reaching out and taking the time to actually exchange ideas. I think that's good for us. I think it's good for them. It's good for transportation. So I just want to give my hats off to staff and Vinny for a great presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Voits.
All right, Director Taylor?
Thank you, and thank you, Mr. Valdez, for a great report. I was wondering about the actual tolling charges compared, for Austria versus, what we would pay in the TCA area. Did you guys discuss that?
We did not get into the particulars of Director Taylor, what they charge for tolls, but that information would be relatively easy for me to gather and follow up with you on.
Yeah, I was just surprised that our system is so much smaller, and we're almost, I think you said we're almost double the amount of miles driven.
Right. Definitely denser here, for sure.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. Go ahead, Director Reynolds. You're here in person. I will see you.
Thank you for the report. I'm interested in a little bit more about
You might need to put your mic on.
All right. First time in this building.
All good?
Lights on, yes, and I can hear a difference now. I'm interested in a little more about the dynamic speed reduction. When you mentioned that, I was sure you were going to talk about safety, but it sounded like the motivation there was environment and emissions. Can you talk about just sort of how that works technically with the vehicles? Do the vehicles have to have some technology, or how do they enforce this dynamic speed reduction?
What Mr. Greiner described was they have sensors along the roadway that detect pollution, right? Pollution levels and noise levels. And it sounded like an automated process whereby, based on those inputs, the speed would dynamically lower on the roadways.
Are they controlling speed limit signs, or are they controlling
Yes.
the vehicles?
Yes, so they're
Got it.
dynamic.
So they're changing the posted signage about speeds. Okay.
Correct,
That makes sense. So how then would electric vehicles be exempt? Are they given a separate lane? You mentioned that electric vehicles are exempt from that speed reduction. How does that work?
Not sure of the particulars. They somehow know that they're exempt, and what the normal speed limit is would be my guess, right? And let me find out more about that for you.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And Director Reynolds, to your first question, one of the things we're looking at in terms of the future transportation is how you do more than just the roadside signage. When we think about autonomous vehicles, that information would be conveyed electronically, so the car knows to reduce the speed on its own. So there are a lot of opportunities there with these technologies, and we're very curious as to what Austria and other countries and states are doing.
All right, any others? Yep. Joe, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. A couple questions. I just looked up piezoelectric technology. I'd never heard of that before. It's really interesting. It actually works off pressure. And so it's the sound wave pressure creates a charge inside that material, and they can capture it. It also says it can offer up to a 20 decibel reduction in noise, which is pretty impressive, especially along our roadways. But interested to see the cost of building something like that. My other question is the Alexa technology. Have they implemented that yet?
No, they're in the early stages of getting going on that. They've established an agreement with partnership with Amazon and are beginning work on that.
Okay, that's really interesting to me. That was something I was hoping we were going to be talking about, are their new technologies, what they're doing. So, I've got a lot of questions about that, but if they're in the infancy stages, maybe we can talk about that strategic planning. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any others? All right. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right, we'll move on to Chief Executive Officer's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I hope all of the directors had a great 4th of July weekend. With the return of community events, festivities, and fireworks, our community engagement team is back out in our member cities and the county, making sure we have a presence so we can answer questions from the community and attract more riders to our road. So our community engagement team had a booth both at the Anaheim Hills 4th of July celebration and the Yorba Linda 4th of July spectacular. Community members stopped by to ask questions about driving the toll roads and the future 241-91 Express Connector project. Staff greatly appreciates that some of the directors came by to chat with us and sometimes even help work the booth, engaging with the community directly. Our communications team also shared information through our social media about all the member city 4th of July events and also making sure all our staff were aware. Next, this week, Pay Near Me, the partner we work with to accept cash payments and expand our physical footprint to make it easier for customers to pay, they published a white paper about the success of our partnership and what we're doing for payment options, providing additional flexibility to customers through thousands of retail locations across the country. Pay Near Me also has enabled us to place QR codes on customer correspondences to make paying a toll, resolving toll violations, and funding fast-track accounts as easy as possible. With the introduction of QR codes, TCA anticipated a 5% bump in payments made through Pay Near Me, but instead, we actually experienced a 640% increase. So it's a very successful partnership. It's working great. We also saw through Pay Near Me, that we experienced a 35% increase in payments from drivers who didn't initiate payment within the toll day, within the 5-day period required, so essentially a violation. So that was also very promising. So as we wrapped up FY22, our stats show that nearly 250,000 payments were processed through Pay Near Me at about 4,000 locations across the country, totaling about $7 million in revenue. So we're really excited about that, and we will provide a link to Pay Near Me's white paper, and the communications team, Ms. Lori Olin, will send that out to the directors today. And then last but definitely not least, I want to commend our CFO, Amy Parter, for delivering a major milestone in your 7-year strategic plan. Tomorrow, the Foothill Eastern Transportation Corridor Agency will execute an early paydown of $125 million in bond debt. That early paydown of bond principal has a maturity date of 2053. So this action will save the agency approximately $180 million in interest payments. And when you combine that with your recent actions and your adopted strategic plan, we expect to provide nearly $1.4 billion in interest savings by the end of your 7-year period. So very successful news. So I want to make sure we recognize Ms. Potter for her work in that area.
Agreed. We'll move into board chair reports. Peggy, do you have anything?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to congratulate our CEO, Samuel Johnson, for being elected as the chair of the Western Regional Toll Operators. I know you will represent us well and make us proud in sharing how TCA continues to be a leader in toll operations. So that's it for me. Thank you.
Great, you beat me to it. Just a quick reminder for folks, the Western Regional Toll Operators, it includes 24 toll agencies, 35 facilities in 11 states. So it's a really big deal. So congratulations, Samuel.
Thank you.
And then a couple things, Fred mentioned it. We'll be sending out a formal invitation soon, but just put it on your calendars. November 17th, we've got our workshop planning we'll have in Newport Beach. And then for our folks on the San Joaquin board, I've been reaching out to you about trying to figure out how to get to your council meetings. I've attended Laguna Woods, and then actually will be in Costa Mesa next week. So thank you, Director Reynolds, for accommodating that to just talk to our member agencies about what's going on with the TCA. Our next regularly scheduled meeting for the Joint Board of Directors will be held Thursday, August 11th at 9:30. And until then, I wish you all the best. Thanks.